Psycho meets the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Body bags where horror lies.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to week 120 here on Body Bags. I am your host, Moodz616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, week 120 is here. It's Sunday, my time to do a review. Let's do this. Yeah, so of course, week 120, we got another random review here, and this one is coming from Wild Eye Releasing. Honestly, I swear that Wild Eye has released at least 120 films themselves this year. They have been on a tear. I mean, releasing so much stuff every week. It's been like 4 or 5 films, it seems like, ranging from pretty good quality to kind of medium to right down in the shitter. Now, this one right here, I didn't really know a whole lot about going into. In fact, I didn't really know anything going into this one. And so I read the synopsis, and I thought it sounded pretty cool, you know? It doesn't really give you a lot on the back. Kind of dug the cover art, so I'm like, why not? Let's give this one a shot. And it's from 2011 originally. It's just been released on media in 2015, brand new. And it is called Whole. Yes, it is just strictly called Whole. Nothing like the band at all. Bad joke, but yeah, just the name of it right there just kind of intrigued me. I was like, Whole? Eh. But getting into the plot of this one, it's basically, it has three stories that kind of, you know, all intersect with each other. Basically, the first, part of the story is about this guy named Ed. He's a convicted felon. He's just gotten out of jail. And the thing is with Ed is that he doesn't really want to be out of jail because he doesn't trust himself. He's been convicted for whatever, but now he's on the outside and he feels that he shouldn't be on the outside because he doesn't know anything but jail. And of course, he's got to deal with a lot of, you know, personal demons and things like that stemming from childhood. And now he's also the main suspect in a string of murders that are taking place in the small town. Jumping into your other story, which is about this main character, Eve. She's dealing with, you know, this tragic loss of her son who has been killed. And of course, the third part of the story is the investigator, the detective named Bodhi, who is investigating, obviously, these disappearances of all these women with similar characteristics and things like that. And he's, you know, obviously doing the investigation of these murders. And Ed is his main suspect, and all their kind of stories kind of intertwine. And you've got the movie Whole. So yeah, now my thoughts on this one. Now, this movie right here, I thought had a pretty interesting premise, and I gotta say, I really did like the structure of this film, because it's one of these type of films that, right off the bat, you know, it's gonna keep you interested because it's not spoon-fed to you whatsoever. Now, you really gotta pay attention because the structure of this film is quite interesting, because not only is it kind of following all these different characters who eventually, you know, come together and make up the whole story, their stories are also being told in reverse. So, you know, that sounds really crazy and stuff like that, but, you know, to be honest, you know, it's actually kind of boring. There's not really a whole lot of things that are happening within these stories. And I think it is a little bit predictable, you know, the things right off the bat, you know, with Ed's character, you know, he's dealing with a lot of childhood demons and things, you know, stemming from his mom, and, you know, of course, the string of murders that are happening with all these women that look the same and things like that. So it's not really holding a lot to the imagination in this one. I mean, you figure out things probably in the first half an hour, exactly what's going on with this film, but the structure is indeed enough to keep you, you know, kind of intrigued, because, like I said, it's being told in very kind of blocky storytelling and kind of backwards too. You know, and the other thing I really like about this film is the super, you know, serious tone to it. It's got a really super serious tone, which I love. You know, I love this one. Doesn't really have any comedy. It's a straight-faced horror film, you know, kind of psychological at times and things like that. And it's got, like, really kind of no soundtrack to it. It's just got, like, an ambient type, you know, score to it. You know, if you want to call it a score. It's just a lot of ambient sounds, very kind of quiet and just ominous. You know, it's got that type of feel to it. It's not very atmospheric. I mean, at times there's certain shots in the film that are a little bit atmospheric, you know, with, you know, down in his basement and things like that, but it's just very quiet. It's a very quiet film. You know, getting into a few things I didn't really care about the film. First off, I was just really disappointed with the acting. The acting in the movie for this one right here is super dry. And when you have a horror film that's like supposed to be super dark in tone and it's being played straight faced, you know, you need some solid acting to kind of sell it a little more. This one doesn't deliver on it, especially the cop Bodhi. I find his acting is just like it's so dry that it's almost comical. You almost find yourself wanting to laugh. Same with pretty much all the characters, you know. And some of the dialogue in this film is just, it's torture. It's really, really poorly written at times. But then there's other parts of the screenplay that are really well written. I thought there were some good monologues and stuff, especially by the cop. So it was kind of a mixed bag with the dialogue, but the acting for the most part was really below par. And I think it hurt the overall feel of this film. I think it could have been a lot better with some more solid acting, maybe a little more action and things happening in the script also. But yeah, this one essentially, I really did like the structure of it, but I can't recommend this one because I was just bored to honest death watching this film. I was waiting for something to happen, you know, and I'm going, when, you know, the time's running down on the film, and I'm going, okay, I don't even know when the third act of this film started. That is not a good thing. That is really not a good thing, which, you know, it's kind of told in reverse anyways, but it's just not that exciting. It's really not that exciting, which is super unfortunate. And the thing that really kind of blew my mind about this, I was expecting it to be pretty gory, you know, bloody and things like that, based on the content. You know, Ed's technically a serial killer. I mean, that's what he is, right? And you learn that right off the bat. It's not a spoiler or nothing, but, you know, I was expecting this one to be a little more, you know, have a lot more just killings and, you know, good effects and things like that. Well, it doesn't deliver on any of that, which is kind of a shame. And that's another part that really hurt this film, because with this type of storyline, you need that in there really to kind of sell it and stuff. So, and no nudity, things like that, you know, all the essentials for one of these type of films to really work. But no, the acting and just the lack of things really happening in the film kind of hurt this one for me. Can't recommend it. I think this one could have been a lot better film with just some changes, but it is what it is. If I had to rate this one, I'm going to give it about a 4 out of 10, which is very unfortunate because I was really looking forward to watching this one, but it is what it is. But yeah, and I do give him props though, you know, for not, you know, just trying something that's straight face and trying to make a good horror film. I give him props for that, and not using a soundtrack to distract the listener too. You know, just using ambient sounds and background noises and stuff is pretty, it's daring. But it just didn't work for me, so. But yeah, that is going to do it for week 120 here, and that is whole. You know, if you want to check it out at your own discretion, but don't say you weren't warned. I'll see you guys next week. Peace out. This movie will, without a doubt, satisfy those with a blood fetish and an eye for gore. Horror Society. That's complete bullshit. This movie is neither bloody or definitely not gory.